After a long consideration of doing a podcast and a YouTube video of the Dallas Cowboys analysis, I've come to a conclusion that it needs to be done on the emotional aspect. This first rehearsal game and the third preseason game of the season so far. So I have some quiet excitement based on the overall general play of the Dallas Cowboy defense. There was a quarterback sack in the beginning of the game when our defensive backs played tight coverage, and Deshaun Watson was as a quarterback, made him hold the ball more than 4 to 5 seconds, and of course Taco Charleston got a defensive sack. But I attribute that sack to our defensive backs, that quiet excitement, that blanket type coverage, wonderful coaching by Richard, knowing that we've already had these players a couple of years and they're showing up. One particular individual showed up was defensive back CJ Goodwin with some blanket coverage in the beginning. Great special teams, aggressive player. I think he's going to really make a good acquisition and transition into special teams with our 53-man roster. Now, I was quietly excited about our interior defensive linemen. Our defensive tackle, Jashard Hill, our second round choice of our 19th draft, showed some flashes when he was playing with the first team when Webb was in the game. They handed it off, and Jashard Hill made a quiet tackle that nobody even spoke about. But again, the disruptiveness of our defensive tackles are very apparent after I watched the game a second time. Covington is a big man and needs two players, so that's one of these guys that really is a great acquisition in the free agency. Our draft choice was an excellent choice. I was questioning in the beginning because he wasn't playing with our first string with the Rams, and then he started the fourth quarter with the Rams, and now playing with the Texans. Now I want to talk about a quiet concern as well that I have. I see that Deshaun Watson only played one series, and that player and quarterback is notorious for holding the ball quite a bit. So I say quiet excitement by our defensive backs and quiet excitement for our defensive tackles. Deshaun Watson, again, holds the ball a little bit too long. Hearing the announcers talk about their second string Texan quarterback going down and not playing, obviously Webb was a third consideration for the quarterback position. So knowing that Webb was a third string playing with the first string defense was a quiet concern of mine, knowing that he's going to hold the ball longer, making not a good decisions, conservative decisions that made Joe Thomas in the second a possession of Webb almost getting an interception based on the pressure that our defensive linemen created. Now, I want to go ahead and go into the bipolarness of our offensive line. In the first sequence, we saw that they held up pretty good. Now, they would do great blocking and pass protection, and then they would hold. The penalties really offset us and really taking control of the game early. We could have had 21 points when Cooper Rush came in and threw a touchdown pass to Michael Gallup. There was a great screen pass, again, as a whole, considering Jason Witten holding, bringing that one back, and finally we settle for 3 points. So we leave 4 points on the field. That bipolarism really is a major concern because this was the first string offensive lineman, knowing that Martin wasn't in and Tyron Smith isn't. But again, the backups that were in, Fleming and Suafilo, they played a number of games last year for us. And again, I don't see no upside or progressive quality snaps in our first series of the game. Another bipolar situation is Dak Prescott. He went 2 for 5. Last game he was 9 for 9. The whole preseason before that, and now he overthrew Gallup, and it just didn't. He didn't look settled to me, knowing and I was hoping that he would play another series, but he didn't. But overall, knowing the situation in our backfield, our scouting team and our draft choices picking Pollard was a great acquisition. I thought it was kind of shaky getting a fourth-string backup type of running back out of Memphis, but he is showing to be a quality player and knows how to play in the pros. Again, this is a Cowboys corner here, talking about the emotions of the game. We'll continue to assess and analyze the team's progress. This third preseason rehearsal was a good one. The only main concern, again, was the Texans that bad, or were the Dallas Cowboys that great? We fall somewhere in the middle. Like it said, you have your truth, I have my truth, and the real truth is somewhere in the middle. So again, continue to like and subscribe to my channel. This is my first time. I offer a lot of consideration after 45 years and more of being a Dallas Cowboy fan. I'm glad to have this opportunity, and thank you for watching my YouTube channel. Good night.